make for them. However, it may be difficult for people to understand the work that goes into producing a single product. There are fun aspects such as designing and creating leather accessories. However, there are more stressful aspects as well, such as marketing, negotiating with suppliers, and finding a more cost-effective way to ship a product. The global pandemic didn't make anything easier about it. Although friends and family all have an opinion on how I can expand the business, it was hard not to feel alone in the challenges I faced. John and the BAC were an essential resource in helping me work on goals as well as methods to reach them. John was regularly there for either by phone or by our face-to-face meetings. His mentoring had given me methods to increase my customer base. He offered me guidance in negotiating prices with retailers wishing to buy larger quantities at wholesale prices, as well as providing me guidance in better describing the accessories that I was selling. I always felt I could come to the BAC for guidance, and I feel they have a genuine interest in helping me improve my business, and I really do appreciate that. Didn't have much else to say, but thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Any questions?
How long have you been making, purchasing like leather stuff for?
Since May 2018. I've been working for the Department of Veterans Affairs for 13 years, and I wanted to do something that, although helping at the VA was a very rewarding experience, I wanted to produce something that could last also. And leather work has always been something that I enjoy doing. So about 4 years now, something close to that.
Yeah. And how did you learn leather work?
A lot of it was just me, playing around. The biggest, when I first started, you always see some leather product, and they're always selling it for a lot. And at that time, I couldn't afford to just purchase something high-end, so I decided to make my own high-end products.
You're here.
Yeah. So, I always wanted a pair of crocodile loafers. I made my own.
He has them on?
Yeah, I have them on actually.
Crocodile still alive?
But, and I was always looking for horsehide leather products, especially in the United States. They don't make it like they used to, just for the fact that people aren't eating horse in the United States as much as they used to. But I found, oddly enough, I found tanneries in the United States. The Horween company, which is, anybody who's wearing Cordovan leather or anything like that would know that they're the ones to get it from. So they're out of Chicago. They're a very old tannery, and they're known from all over. So, it took a customer from Sweden to push me to basically start buying, horsehide leather, and I started producing it after that. Yes, sir.
Do you sell all of the things you make in your store? Do you have other people carry your products? And do you have anybody that's like a contract that you would make a larger supply for on a regular basis?
Well, we've had some positive feedback from a couple of companies that were interested in a few products. The pandemic wasn't very helpful with that. A lot of the brick and mortar places are having a hard time, and they're really, it may be my fault. I'm not pushing it the way I should, but they're a little hesitant in adding more items to their inventory. I do have one company that I provided hunting items for, leather turkey toads and things like that. I believe they're out of Arkansas. We were working with another company earlier regarding, I think they do coal mining equipment. So, the BAC helped me at least in negotiating prices with them, but that hasn't, we haven't sent out any products for them just yet. But, most of it is online right now, and that's the only way a lot of us, a lot of small businesses have been able to survive. It's something I can, I don't have to worry about overhead. A lot of, I'm working out of my house, so a lot of that is tax deductible. So we're taking advantage of it as the best we could. So, yes, sir.
So an animal product, leather, with a trendy PETA movement, I just wonder if that creates an obstacle that affects you.
Not as much as you'd think. The only real obstacle, I think, is pricing based on what's called, vegan leather, which is, in reality, it's like plastic or something. And, it's, when somebody's comparing something that you're doing by hand and something that's machine manufactured, it's night and day on that, but all they see is the price. So that's been a challenge to us. And, basically letting people understand that it's actually, leather is more environmentally sound than the products that are being created to compete against it. A leather product, I've seen leather products 200, 300 years old in a museum, Whereas plastic, these things fall apart, they're useless, and they'll fall apart, but they'll never decompose. So you'll find them in a lot of landfills, but at the end of it, people are using the leather, and people are eating the meat, so might as well, And when you do have a belt that's made out of leather, it'll last you, as long as you can care for it, Whereas I've seen leather products fall apart after a week, or the plastic, vegan, and whatever products fall apart after a week. So that's been the bigger challenge, is to actually educate people on the benefits and long-term use for leather.
Thank you. To buy online, how do I get in touch with you?
Well, I have a bunch of cards.
Okay.
Yeah, which include my my website and everything. Yes.
John?
Okay, great. Thanks, Thair.
I got something for you. Don't run away, you have to stay. This is for you. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Let me get one more. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Great job.
No break yet. Okay, thank you very much. Hope everybody enjoyed that. Thair did a great job, I think. This is not what he does for a living, talking to people, but he did a really good job. Thank you. Our next award winner is BlazeBite. And they're sitting at the table over here, and I'm going to have Jeff come up, and I think Bryan may come up as well. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but they'll tell you everything about BlazeBite. Hope you have lots of questions for them. They came to us a little bit differently, so we get people that get into these things. Everybody doesn't come in the same way. You would guess that, but I just wanted to share how they do it. So Jeff and Bryan shared with us that they found BAC by doing a search on the internet. And they found us, and they contacted us, and they made an appointment, and they came in, and then we did several counseling sessions with them, and that led to kind of an ongoing relationship, and eventually, I think really probably from the first meeting, maybe the second meeting, I think we knew it was going to be an ongoing relationship. One of the things that we always talk about at BAC is starting your business, starting small, right? But really thinking big and scaling up. And one thing that I really enjoyed about Jeff and Bryan when they came in is that they really believe in their business, and I really believe in their business too. And Jeff is proud to tell you, and I'm sure he'll tell you today, that he thinks it could be as big or bigger than Amazon. But to his credit, he's not starting off trying to be Amazon. He's starting off small. They've got a great plan, lots of energy, lots of really smart people, and they're scaling up. And Jeff and Bryan, why don't you come up and tell us a little bit more about it?
All right, thank you, John. Actually, John, you're right. The way we've been working in the Cleveland area, we started the company in 2018, and honestly, we were looking for some mentorship. We've reached out to a couple different places, and one of the things that we loved about BAC was it wasn't, you guys are doing a great job, you guys are thinking the right way, and just giving us the stuff that we want to hear. We had met with a couple other places that was trying to give us mentors, and they weren't asking us tough questions. They didn't ask us the questions that we need to be able to scale. And John, you and the team, our mentoring team, is what really helped us out. Asking us the tough questions about, and giving us suggestions, and saying, have you guys thought, about who your partners are going to be, or how you're going to bring in your next customers. So we appreciate all the work that you've done. So John's right. I think BlazeBite will be bigger than Amazon. And the reason I say that is every day a lot of people order on Amazon, but with BlazeBite you have to eat multiple times a day. So what if there was one app that you used anytime you were hungry that you can order food and drinks? So that's why in the big picture of things, I think BlazeBite will be the biggest app in the world, and I truly believe that. So you guys might ask, what is BlazeBite? So Bryan and I we didn't develop, we got a team of people that have developed an app for us, and the way it works, think of Uber Eats or DoorDash, but at a live event or a live venue. So imagine being at a baseball game and wanting a beer and a hot dog, but not wanting to get up and wait in concession stands for a half hour. With our application, we make it easy for the venues to offer mobile ordering for all of their customers. So you simply download our app, you order your food and drinks, you put your seat location, and they bring you out your food and your drinks. And when you're ready to leave, you pay and you leave. And you can leave a little bit of feedback. How was your food? How was your service? Overall experience? And that helps give the venues an idea of what their customers like, what they dislike. And that's been actually a huge, we didn't realize when we started it that feedback was so important to the venues, the restaurants, the stadiums. But that's huge because we get over 70% of people leaving that feedback, where a lot of times they're offering surveys on the bottom of a receipt or some other thing, and they pay a lot of money and no one ever fills these things out. People are voluntarily giving us this information. So our app, we thought it was going to be a restaurant app. We found out it's more of a stadium app, it's a bowling alley app, it's a golf app. Where else are we at?
Concessions, any concessions?
Yeah.
So arenas, stadiums,
Yep. So
golf courses, we even use it on golf courses for outings.
Yep. So we've been doing this now for a few years. We are at the Lake County Captains. So if you ever go to a baseball game at the Lake County Captains, you can use our app. We are Kent State alumni, and their men's basketball team is now using it for the floor seats. And we're in several other places, and we're looking to grow. So if anyone has any questions about our app,
Download it now.
So I just deliver the food, and do they work for the stadium, or do they work for, like, do you have Blaze app employees?
so that's a great question. The question I think everyone can hear is how does the food get delivered, and do we hire those people? So we work with the venues, and the venues hire the people that run food. So for the baseball stadiums, they actually have one of the stadiums currently has volunteers for like the Key Club. So the Scrappers in Mahoning Valley, they have volunteers come there. And what they do is they give a percentage of those sales to the volunteer groups, so that there's a way to get runners, because right now everyone's struggling with trying to get people to work. But the volunteer groups are still strong, and they don't mind giving a percentage of the sales to some of these non-for-profit charities.
That's a good fundraiser.
And some of the concessions, some of the high school concession stands actually don't deliver. They just have a pickup station. So you order from your phone and you pick it up from a station, which expedites everything for them and allows mobile payments.
Yeah, that's a good point. So one of a couple of the high schools, they didn't offer credit card sales because it's very difficult to teach people how to run a credit card, and a lot of these are volunteer groups. So what they said was, with your app, does that mean anything that just prints out, like it's paid for? And we're like, yes. And they're like, oh, we'll just tell people to use this app if they don't want to pay cash. So it's worked out really well for a couple of the high schools around here as well.
How do you make money?
So we take a percentage of every sale. Right now we charge 10% plus credit card fees. We give the venues the option to increase prices if they think it's if they're gonna lose out on some profitability. But what they noticed is it's so easy to order, and people start a tab and continue ordering, that the volume makes up for that. So one of the stadiums upped the price and then they came back down. There's only one venue I think right now that still has a higher price set than what they sell everything else for. It's a good question.
My wife and I just worked on a fundraiser. We acquired Square, which ties into your phones, Bluetooth. Be a great way to get people into the credit card business with you.
Yeah.
And Square, that really works easy.
Yeah, we actually use Stripe, it's one of Square's competitors, for our mobile payment processing. But Square's really like the start of mobile processing. They were the ones that started the game, and with the little square that used to go in your phone, plug into your phone.
You don't even have to plug it in now.
Yeah, now it's all
By
mobile.
Bluetooth, it just-
That's really cool.
It was easy to download, by the way.
Oh,
Thanks.
What have been some of your biggest challenges as you've gotten started up here?
Do you want me to take it or do you want to take it?
I would say we originally thought we were part of the restaurant. We were focused on restaurant industry, and one of the challenges we had was when we got into these restaurants, the servers that were in there were excellent. They were really good at their job, and a lot of people were like, "Why am I going to use my phone when the waitress is standing right here every 2-3 minutes?" So we found that the capture rate of, like, let's say this whole audience here, everybody's eating dinner, we would get maybe 1 or 2 tables out of 10, right? So we didn't have a high adaptation rate. So what we found, we ended up trying other venues like bowling alley, and we did the stadium. And what we found when we started working these entertainment venues, we even did one where it was like, wasn't comedy night, it was, what was the Wilbur Brim Company?
Yeah, the
Trivia night.
Trivia.
Night. And we found that more than 80% of the people were using it when they had it. And it was because there was less interaction with the waitress, and people were more there for the entertainment aspect than they were for the experience of dining and having the waitress and the server. So they didn't really want to interact with the waitress that much. So they felt more comfortable ordering from their phone. And who doesn't want to be sitting in a ballpark and order a hot dog and a beer, not to stand in line for it and not miss any of the game? So that was just, we had a huge adaptation rate when it got into the stadiums. And I guess the only other one thing that sets our app apart is we did election day. So there was poll workers. We could set up our app to literally, we set it up in 2 days. Within 24 hours, we could set it up, put a menu on there for a restaurant who wanted to give free meals to the poll workers. And all the poll workers downloaded the app and just started ordering for their breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And it went smooth. And the venue had never used it before, never did any training. I spent maybe 10 minutes with the venue on how to work it. And they were in there turning orders off and saying they ran out of certain things and using it as if they had used it for 6 months. So it was a huge attestment to the IT team that developed the app and the system we have.
It's a great story. Good story.
Yeah.
It's a great story.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
One more.
Lots of questions.
So I was a poll worker, and we didn't have that option.
You gotta come over to Lake County. Wrong poll worker, right?
I did download your app, and you list the places you're at right now. I assume the list will get bigger.
I hope so. If you got any referrals, like I'll use this. This is a good story, and I told somebody here once already. So we were in. Am I loud enough? Everybody can hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. So I won't take. So we were at Kent State, but it took a lot to get there. We were emailing a lot of different people, calling, leaving lots of messages. We didn't know who exactly were Kent State alumni. So if we wanted to get into college, we wanted to be Kent State be the first college that we got into. Well, unfortunately, nobody was responding to me. Nobody was, calling me back. They weren't responding to emails. Somehow we met the gentleman who owns a restaurant and does the halftime meal, like cater meal for Kent State, but he owns a restaurant in Stowe area, and he's in the Stowe chamber. So we happened to be at the golf outing. We did their golf outing, and he's like, "Oh, I know somebody at Kent. I can introduce you to them." So we talked to the director there, and she's like, "Oh my God, where have you guys been? I've been looking for something like this for like a year." And I'm like, "Because somebody would have answered my email, we would have been here a year ago." So any warm introductions would be greatly appreciated, because that is probably the hardest thing. Is I get the door slammed in my face all the time. I do most of the sales. Jeff's with me, but trying to cultivate an opportunity is a little more difficult and challenging, as I'm sure most of you people know.
Yes.
Does it work like a Grubhub in the sense that, like, if Corky and Money's, has this app, I could order it and then I could pick it up, as opposed to delivering it, for pickup purposes?
So to be clear, it is like DoorDash or Uber, but we don't do it. There's no delivery.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so you
Like
could
on my
use
way
it.
home from work, I would use your app to order in advance.
You could use it that way. It's meant for in-house ordering, like I'm at table 12, I'm ordering. But you can use it. We use it that way for the poll workers, right?
Right.
Most of them just came and they picked, instead of picking a location, they picked up the time that they wanted to pick their meal up. So, but that's not our, our main focus or what the app main intention was.
Not at this point.
It's not built for that, because a lot of times those apps will have, only so many orders can come in between 11 and 12, and then they
You're
shut
right.
down. Your next time slot is 12 to 1. So we don't have the infrastructure right now. Not to say that that won't change. We have an awesome IT team. Two of the IT guys developed a Progressive app, and they work at Progressive Insurance, and they're awesome developers. I can't say enough good things about them. But they're working on a few other features, such as for some of these stadiums, they want to go completely mobile, especially like high school concession stands. They're trying to get more all mobile ordering. So we're actually developing a kiosk. So our app will work on a kiosk. So if somebody doesn't want to use their phone, they can just order from a kiosk as well. So give them multiple options to order. So
Seems like there's a big opportunity at the below pro level, because at the pro level, the teams want to control food, they want to control everything. Plus they have food lockers. You've seen that.
yeah,
Now that requires you to get up out of your seat to get it, but you don't have to stand in line.
right.
But those are big venues, but there's a lot of small venues.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think if you stuck with that, it'd be unlimited, limited.
I think that's what we're focused on, and we kind of understand the Browns Stadium has an app, and they have their own Browns app. Your tickets on there, and they also can order food on there. And now the Cavs Arena has the same thing.